Hello and welcome to Disney Travel Tales, a podcast that allows you to immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and I'm so happy to be here with you talking about my favorite thing, Disney trips. Join us every Friday as we explore the parks or cruise ships with a new guest and learn inside tips and tricks to hopefully help make your vacation go a little smoother. Make sure to subscribe to the show wherever you are listening so you never miss a new episode, and I would love it if you left a positive review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. This is the easiest way to support the podcast. Another way to support the podcast is to use me as your travel agent at no cost to you. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com. Let me do all the hard planning while you sit back and count down the days to your vacation. Okay, so let's get going with today's show. Hello, and thank you for listening to this show today. It is March 24th, 2023, and this is episode 69. I'm here with Bailey, and we will be discussing her Disneyland trip with her daughter in early March to visit Princess Nights. Hey, Bailey, thanks for coming back on the show today.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. And for listeners of the podcast, Bailey was back on, I guess, a few months ago, talking about her trip with her son during Halloween. And so I am so excited to hear how it went with your daughter.
Yes, super excited. It was definitely, I was going to wait till she was a little bit older to have our one-on-one, but then I saw Princess Night up for sale, so kind of had to move that timeline up quite a bit.
Oh, for sure. So how old is she?
She's 3.
She's 3. And what were your travel dates?
We went from March 9th through the 12th, so Thursday through Sunday.
Okay, so let's just start right at the beginning of your trip. You flew out of Austin, right?
Yes, out of Austin, and we flew into Orange County. So we left, I think, we got there about noon, so our flight left here around like 8:30ish, something like that. Got there about noon, and I had already kind of arranged for a car because, she has a car seat. So that can kind of complicate travel factors. It's not like you could just hop in an Uber, and I really didn't want to have to pack a car seat with us. So yes. I arranged someone to pick us up, and we were at the Disneyland Hotel by about 12:20. It's a very, very quick drive.
Yeah, that's so nice. So the last time you went, you flew into LAX, right?
We flew out of LAX.
You flew out of it. Okay.
We flew into SNA as well.
Mm-hmm. So which airport do you prefer?
I don't know. LAX is like an hour drive, so that's kind of not fun. But we didn't have a bad experience with LAX. It was pretty simple for us. I expected it to be really big, and we have to go through all these terminals. And I've been there one time before many years ago for a layover, so I remembered it being really huge. But it actually wasn't bad at all. I don't know if we just got lucky that our gates happened to be by the security that we went through, but it was pretty simple last time. So if I had to choose, I would definitely pick SNA because of the distance. But then when we flew back home, we flew through Long Beach, and I had not been to that one before. And that one's really close to Disneyland, but it was this teeny tiny airport. You actually walk out on the tarmac to go up the stairs to get onto the plane.
Yeah.
And it's mostly outside. You're walking outside in between the buildings. It was just, I don't know, that was an interesting experience. I hadn't done that in a really long time, where you actually need to walk up into the plane.
Yeah, we flew into Long Beach years ago, and it's nice because it is so small. It was really easy to get in and out of, but yeah, it felt very old school.
It did. And I think that there's only 2 carriers. I think it's Southwest and one other that go out of there. I think there's 10 gates. I don't know. It's very small.
That's so funny. Okay, so y'all stayed at the Disneyland Hotel. What kind of room did y'all have?
We just had a standard room.
And it just had 2 queen-size beds?
It had 2 queen-size beds, but when we were checking in, so I've been seeing people post about, don't online check into your room because you kind of want to wait there to see if there's any way that you can get an upgrade, or you can ask for a room in a certain building. So that's what we did. We went to the front desk and I said, has our room already been assigned? And she says, no. Do you have any requests? And I told her, I said, well, I don't really, but what room would you put yourself in if you got to make that choice? So she's so nice, and she pulls out a binder to check the maps of what building has what, and she double checked that it was open. She's like, okay, this is the room that I would put myself in. And oh my gosh, it was so great. It was so great. We got the biggest window, and so the window covered the entire wall.
Oh wow!
Facing out, so it was a huge window, and we could see both parks from it. Oh my gosh! So we could see Space Mountain and a little bit of the castle on one side, and on the other side we could see the Ferris wheel. We could see Guardians of the Galaxy Tower. We could see a little bit of World of Color at night, but it was just a standard view because there was a big construction zone in the middle of that. So half your view was the construction zone, but you just raise your eyes a little bit and you had this beautiful view. It was so great. And it had 2 sinks in the bathroom. It was a really big room. It had a full-size couch.
Oh, wow.
The last time I stayed there, we had 1 sink. We had just a chair. This had a full-size couch that would have pulled out to sleep more people, and 2 sinks in the bathroom. I was like, I will always ask at check-in.
Yes, that's
where they recommend.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I actually didn't even know that about the hotels in California, the Disneyland hotels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah. So what'd y'all do right when y'all got there?
Well, right when we got there, our room was actually ready. So we went up and did a little room tour and got all excited. We took pictures in the clean room before, it goes all crazy with us throwing our stuff everywhere. And then we had a Storytellers Cafe brunch. So we went, that was a 1:00 reservation. So it was everything kind of just flowed just right. We got over there, and Storytellers Cafe is in the Grand Floridian Hotel. It is kind of an adventure-themed buffet character meal. So you have Mickey and Minnie and Goofy, and I think Chip and Dale is who we saw. I think Pluto was maybe there too. I can't exactly remember. I know we missed one of them. But while we're waiting outside to be called in, we're sitting out there, and walks past us is Anna from Frozen. Aww. She goes right past. Then Ariel goes past, and then the lawn goes past, and I'm just we've been here at Disneyland for 30 minutes, and we've already seen 3 princesses.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because the Storytellers is right next door to the Napa Rose, which is where they have the princess breakfast. So as these characters are coming and going, they have to walk right past there. So you just see that we can see Minnie and Mickey in through the windows as they're waiting, and princesses are walking by. I was like, this is so magical.
That is definitely magical. What did your daughter think about it?
She was like, wow. She's like, where are those princesses going? I said, well, there's, a princess restaurant over there. She's like, are we going to go to that? And I was like, oh no, did I just really mess something up? Because I was like, we have a princess night. We don't need to go do the princess breakfast. We see all these characters at princess night. It'll be fine. But, I can't say no. So as we were in Storytellers, I was trying to find us a reservation and got us one for the next morning. But that's awesome. She was super excited to do that.
Oh, I love it.
She loved it a lot. But Storytellers that was good, because I love the idea of doing character meals, especially at the beginning of your trip, because you just knock out seeing these things that maybe your kid's going to want to wait in line for later. You say, oh, we already did that. We're good. We got the pictures. We got the autographs. We are good to go. So it was really nice being able to take her to Disneyland. She's been to Disney World when she was 18 months old, so she doesn't really remember it. So this was kind of her first time in a sense, because she just doesn't remember it. And so for her to come in right away, we go to the hotel, and then we see Mickey right away. It was just this great little start, and Minnie, and they come around to the table, and it was really good. The food was just It was just for me.
A lot of character meals are like that, but it is worth it, especially if you have little kids, so they can see the characters. It makes the food a little bit better.
It does. It totally does. Yeah, I think I found they actually had really good French toast on the brunch buffet, but all the rest of it, I was like, that's okay. Yeah. But I really don't come in there for the expectation of the food, like you said. It's to do the characters and have a meal so we're full and we can go do other stuff afterwards.
There you go. That sounds good. So what'd y'all do after your brunch?
Hey parents, do your kids listen to podcasts? Do they like solving mysteries and flexing their imaginations? Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is a new children's mystery podcast. Your kid can join Billy Bonanza and Susie Sockington on exciting and wacky adventures as they attempt to solve mysteries around their school. Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is available now on all podcast platforms.
After brunch, we went swimming. So the Princess Night party the party itself didn't start till 9 o'clock, but you could get in at 6. So we had like a few hours to kill, and so we decided to go swimming. We threw on our swimsuits, and my daughter, she's really great about finding girls that are like a little bit older than her that just like take her under their wing wherever we go. Like she'll just have this little older friend who just takes her around wherever we go. It always happens. She makes a little friend right away, and they're just having the best time. She talks her into going on because the Disneyland Hotel has 2 water slides. And so she talked her into she's like, can I take Rose over here to go on the water slide? And I was like, well, I'll come with you. Yeah, we could do it. She was a little bit scared, but she did it one time and she was like, this is the best. And we're going to go round and round and round and round.
That's so cute. That's awesome that she has good people skills.
Yeah, well, she'll just be like, hey, do you want to be my friend? Like, she'll just right there say, do you want to be my friend?
Kids are so cute.
That really helps her.
Absolutely.
Really
I mean, who could say no to a cute 3-year-old?
Right. Yep. So that's really fun. They had so much fun swimming, but I did have to be like, hey, we have to go have a nap. This is part of the drill. Because when I talked to you in October about taking my son to the Oogie Boogie Bash, I was like, he was done real quick, and he's not a napper. So I was like, I have to be more strategic with my daughter. She's younger. Like, I know that she had to go and take it out, and thankfully she will. Mm-hmm. So she crashed as soon as we got back to the room, like after swimming and traveling and all that, and crashed while I got dressed. So we both dressed up for the party. It was like a costume encouraged event. So there were like so many princesses, but she was Elsa. And I was Cinderella from the live action. So I wanted a dress that was a little bit not going to be the dress that you see everybody else dressing up as Cinderella.
Yeah.
So I got those off of Etsy.
That's so cute. So which park is Princess Nights in?
It's Disneyland.
And what time is the party hours?
From 9 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh, it's later than I thought it was.
It's late. It's an after hours party. So Oogie Boogie was a little bit earlier than that. I think it started at 8 and went to like maybe 11 or 12. But this is an after hours. So I don't even know if the park closed early. I don't think it did. I think we were able to mesh in with the people. And then at 9, the park closed and it turned over for us.
Wow. So with the after hours event, were y'all allowed to go in earlier?
Yes. So we ended up getting there about 6:30.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the crowds really weren't like that bad. Like it was busy. It was definitely busy, but a lot of people for that time were like lining up to go like see the projections on the castle and all of that, and people were wrapping up their day. Mm-hmm. So we did get in a few rides even before the party started.
That's nice. So going into Princess Nights, did you plan out kind of an itinerary that you wanted to do while you were there? Or did you kind of have in mind the things that you wanted to do? Because with these parties, they offer things that are not usually at the parks, right?
Correct. Yes. So actually in preparation for this event, I started a Princess Night Facebook page. I wanted people to have a place to come and share about, what they're excited for, ask each other questions, especially because this was a brand new event. So it's not like Oogie Boogie where the people before, could tell you, oh, last year they did this. This was going to be brand new. So I started that, and the people on the first night, because this was actually the night 2, so on March 7th was the first one, this March night. The first, they had shared kind of some of their experiences, and they had shared the scheduled events and things. So it helped us to be able to kind of scope out what we wanted to do. But mainly there was just a ton of princesses and unique princesses that you're not going to necessarily be able to go and see. I think Princess Leia was the most rare. That was the special one. and the line for her was like 3 hours long before the party even started.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And some people waited in it. Like, to people to come back and post their pictures, I'm like, you waited in that line. That's so great. That's like your whole party.
Yeah.
You waited in line the whole party.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say.
But I mean, if that's like their secret, and you wouldn't be able to meet her other times.
Yeah.
Like, and I think she had R2D2 with her. That's the little one, right? That's
yeah.
the old one. Yeah. He was there too. So you could take a picture with both of them.
That's cute. And I could see it if you were a local maybe and you had like had a season pass, and so, you know, it's just kind of an extra thing.
Right. Yeah. And so we stood in line. We only stood in one line. We were like, we can't do, because actually my criticism of the event, and what I've seen as like the common criticism, was that the lines were just too long. That the lines for everything, because everybody wants to see these special characters, and of course that's what you're going there for. You expect to wait in a line, but they either needed to have some other kind of entertainment to disperse people a little bit more evenly, because people said you really just went there to stand in lines for a lot of it, and that's not necessarily the vibe that you want to get. So we picked one line, and that was one line enough for us.
Yeah, that is kind of frustrating. And you said, so this is the first time they've ever done this? I didn't even realize that.
It's a brand new event.
Yeah, maybe they'll learn from this event and kind of learn how to tweak it and stuff, because at least when you go to like the Halloween parties at either of the parks, there's so many different things to do besides meeting new characters that it kind of, and yeah, people will stand in line forever to meet a certain character, but it does kind of disperse the people better.
Right. Yeah. This really, and as we were walking around, the park wasn't crowded. Like, it wasn't like oversold events or anything. Although I don't know if the 9th sold out. I know the 7th sold out. But it wasn't crowded, but really the waits for rides were really low and everything, because I think people were just in the line. Like, that's what they came there to do. As we were in the line that we waited for was to take a picture in front of like the Cinderella carriage. That's the one that we were going to wait in line for, just because I wanted us to see pictures in our dresses in front of that one. I was like, we're going to go to Princess Breakfast in the morning, which actually worked out, so we don't have to wait in any of these lines, because she'll be more than happy to see them tomorrow. We can go do fun stuff. But we waited for that carriage for an hour, and I do not know that I would have signed up for it if I'd known it was going to be an hour. But I mean, this is the carriage that when people get married in at Disneyland, like, this is the one that gets, like, this is the Cinderella's carriage. So it was kind of cool to be able to say, like, we took a picture in front of that.
Yeah, and that's a long time to wait, but again, I'm sure there were longer waits for other things.
Oh, most definitely. And then there were some that were really short, like, oh goodness, what's her name? She's from Atlantis. Like, Kirsta, something along those lines. Mm-hmm. You could just walk up to her. And there were some other short ones that we saw as well. So I know that you didn't have to wait a long time for everything. But as you went down Main Street, like the projections, like the lights were all like pink and blue and purple. So it was kind of like themed around, very feminine.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so let's go back to y'all getting to the park. What was the first thing y'all did?
We rode teacups. So Alice in Wonderland teacups. So that was Rosie's first ride, and she was very excited about it. Yes.
That's so cute. What'd y'all do after that?
Let's see what we did. I took notes so that I would be ready for these questions. So then we did the carousel, and that was really fun. So we, quote unquote, raced our horses to see who could win every time, and she thought that was just awesome. Yeah, so those were like maybe like 20-minute waits for both of those, because that's where we were still like people filtering in and out from the regular crowd. And then we actually got to go watch the projections. So that was really nice. I'd never seen the projections before. And so I didn't realize that it's not only projections onto the castle, but on Small World, the whole side of that building is projections. And so we didn't show up. We were just like, what are these lights going on? We walked over there and just kind of pushed through the crowd and watched the projection. So that's awesome. Really fun, actually.
That's really cool. I love when you find little surprises like that.
You have to get there early, to be able to see anything like that.
That's fun. So what'd y'all do next?
Then we rode Dumbo, which my daughter really, really loved. She wanted to ride that multiple times. So I'm like, girl, we have other stuff to do. Like, we got to keep going. And at this point, I'm like, just watching the clock, like, how long is she going to last? How long is she going to last before we go?
Yep.
And then we waited and actually got like, so there was special like princess party, not accessories. What's the word I'm looking for?
Souvenirs?
Yes, exactly. So like they had shirts and cups and the popcorn bucket, of course. So the popcorn bucket is like this pretty carriage. It's silver with like purple wheels and kind of themed around the 100-year celebration, but it's princess carriage and Cinderella's shirt on the side of it. So people were waiting in line for those to come out. And we just happened to like go up, and there was people standing to the side, and I just genuinely wanted popcorn. I just wanted a snack, and they were like, "When are they coming? They're on their way right now." I was like, "Well, I will just stand right here and give it 2 minutes, and I will get you out of the popcorn bucket." And my daughter really loved it because like she plays with it, like she has her Barbies in it. And she uses it like scary now that we're home.
That's cute. And sometimes those buckets are really cute. Like some of them, I don't understand the hype about them, but then some of them are really cute.
Right, yeah. This one was a good one. And I've never been a popcorn bucket buyer for the same reason. I'm like, what am I going to do with this when I get home with it? But I was like, this is an exception. Like, she can actually play with it. I'm not just going to put it in the closet somewhere. And so definitely bought it for that reason.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah. So we snacked around a little bit. And then that's when we went and waited in our hour-long wait. And while we were there, so it was so fun at the party. I guess it was probably my favorite part of the party was seeing everybody dressed up. Because there was just, everybody, like, went all out. It wasn't, like, some people just had, like, kind of a T-shirt on or something like that. But some people, like, were full on, like, everything. And so that was so fun to see everybody dressed up and how they went to, like, such length to have, like, special wigs and hair. And this one Rapunzel girl, like, she had this, like, it looked like, Disney's Rapunzel, like if you were going to meet the princess in the park, but she looked like that. She had this big long wig with flowers all in it, lights in it. I was like, wow, like people really went all the way, and I love it.
That's so fun. I like that too. I like when people, especially adults, like embrace that like childhood spirit.
Oh yeah, and it was probably like mostly adults at this party. Like there were kids, of course, but it was mostly adults.
Probably because of the hours.
Oh, for sure. Yes, definitely. And I think like I was like, telling my husband, he's like, you're going to dress up. And I'm like, when in my 30s again am I going to have an opportunity to wear a full-on princess dress? Like, there's just not many opportunities that popped up. So
very true.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yep, I don't blame you. I would have done it too.
And I think that's what a lot of people probably drew a lot of people into. It's like that's just a really fun thing. And some people had like cute couples costumes. Like one was Cinderella and the other was like Gus Gus. Her husband was dressed up as Gus Gus. That's so cute. And then like Beauty and the Beast. So there was cute couple costume opportunities for it as well. And I thought that's so fun. And this one woman, she had like, she wasn't dressed up as a particular princess, but she was like dressed all in pink in a pretty dress and like really very feminine. And she was like the mom, and there was like 3 sons and a dad, and they were all wearing princess security shirts that were like color themed around her. So even if you didn't dress like in costume, there were still really fun things to dress up with.
That's really fun. I wonder where people got all these ideas. I love it.
I know, I do too. So I love it. It's like I love seeing the creativity that people come up with and how much time they invest in some of these ideas.
So with the party ticket, were there snacks included?
Yes, there were snacks included, though we didn't wait in the lines. But yes, you could get like cookies and things like that, I believe.
Okay. Were the lines for that long?
I can't say whether they were or whether they weren't. Once we had our popcorn, they kind of went off my agenda to have any more snacks. Because we ate at the hotel, so we ordered in room service, which is back, by the way. When I was there in October at Disneyland, it was not there. And so I was like, yay, we don't have to leave the room. You can order this, and she can wake up and we can eat. Like, perfect.
So
we had to eat before we went, this little snack. So we were really good on that front.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so what'd y'all do after your picture?
So after the picture, we went and kind of moseyed around and looked at like different princesses. Didn't wait any more lines, but kind of looked, there's this princess and there's this princess. But it was already getting close to like 11:30 at that point, and I was like, my daughter's like melting in front of my eyes because Texas time, that's 1:30.
Yeah.
So she's really late for her little 3-year-old body, and she was kind of over it at that point. So we definitely did not stay until 1 a.m. There's no way we could have done that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm proud of her for staying as long as y'all did. That's very impressive.
Oh, definitely. And we had talked before we left. I was like, Rosie, you're going to have to stay up late. Can you do it? She's like, I think I can do it. I was like, okay, we'll give it a try.
That's so cute. Mm-hmm. So y'all just headed back to the hotel?
Yeah, we did. But it was, one thing I really liked was obviously seeing all the costumes and people dressed up. But it was also seeing, like, even cast members attended the party. Like, as we're talking in line, different people, you're commenting on their costume, they're commenting on yours. And the 3 women behind us were cast members. So it was kind of cool to get to talk to them.
Yeah.
And, like, what are the perks of being a cast member? She's like, well, you can come to the park anytime you want. But they did have to buy tickets for the princess party. But so even cast members who come and get to see everything all the time wanted to come and see the unique princesses that would be at. They're like, why are you here? They're like, really just to see princesses that we won't get to see any other time.
That's really interesting. But I could see that. Yeah. I mean, they wanted to kind of experience it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was really the highlight, just getting to see everybody's costumes and kind of just getting to dress up. That was fun. It was like a big Princess Halloween, basically.
Yeah, that's really cool. So do you know how many nights that it ran?
Only 2.
Oh, I didn't realize it was only 2 nights. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Only 2 nights, yeah.
And definitely. How much was your ticket?
The ticket was like $150-ish, right around there. Yeah. And I know that I got in the queue. I was like prepared. I was like, it's like, oogie boogie, got to fight for these tickets. There was no reason to get in the queue. They did not sell out until maybe a week or 2 before the event.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, it sounds like it was really fun. I mean,
it was
I wonder if it'll come back.
Picture.
Yes, that's the most important part, right?
That's the most important part, definitely. Oh, and then one of my other highlights was that, so since I started that Facebook group, I would like post on there and be like, what's everybody excited about? Show us your costumes that you're going to bring on. And so a couple of different people actually stopped me. They're like, are you the girl from the Facebook group? Like, I got recognized and did this. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. I love it.
That's fun. That's so fun.
Yes, it was. That was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good idea, too, for people listening. So, start a community of your own so you can talk to people about anything you want, like especially if you're going to Disney. Just kind of get that extra insider information.
Absolutely. And just go search. There's so many niche groups on Facebook about so many topics that if you kind of go look, there's usually a group for it.
Yeah, for sure. When was the last time you visited a Disney park? For many adults, it's been a really long time. I would love to help you fix that situation. As a travel agent specializing in Disney, my job is to make sure your vacation can go as seamless as possible. All of my services are complimentary to my clients. Yes, you heard that right. I'm free to you. These services include helping you from the start finding the perfect resort to fit your needs, handling all the bookings and reservations, helping to teach you about the parks, because if it's been a while, man, have they changed. I have insider tips and tricks I share with all of my clients, and I will be your single point of contact throughout your entire trip, even while you are there. Don't wait another year to visit a Disney park or go on a Disney cruise. Let this be the year you finally go. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com to get the conversation started, or see the link in the show notes to fill out my quote form. All listeners that book a trip with me will receive a $20 gift card to use on their trip. Just make sure you say you heard this on the podcast. Okay, now back to the show. Okay, so let's talk about your next. So before we roll into your next day, how many park days did y'all have?
We had the princess party and then 2 park days after that.
Okay. And one thing that you did that I always recommend to people is don't buy a park ticket on a party day, like you said, as a rest day, and then go to the party that evening.
Absolutely. I think it would have been. There's no way. Definitely no way.
For sure. Okay, so your next day, what did y'all do?
So, one of the reasons I like staying at the Disneyland Hotel is not only because it's, like the original Disneyland Hotel, the very first, but it also, you get early park entry. And it's only 30 minutes, but when I did it last time, we got so much done in that 30 minutes. I was like, we are going to get this done. But I was watching the forecast all week long, and it was like every day would grow closer. It was like rain, just increase. And so then looking out the window that next morning, I was like, I don't really know if I want to go wait on the curb to get in to early entry in the rain. It wasn't like hard raining, but it was misting. So we decided that we were going to, stay at the party late to be able to sleep in a little bit. And then we did the princess breakfast the next morning instead of doing early entry.
And also, real quick, wasn't it really cold when y'all went?
It was pretty cool, yeah. Like, my daughter had, like, a big jacket on. I had, a thin jacket and a big jacket. She was, like, really cold. I'm so glad I brought blankets. We had gloves on. Like, we were pretty chilly.
That's so just
and
like
with
weird.
Just, you mix a little bit of moisture in the air, and everything feels a little bit colder for sure.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy that it got so cold down there.
Yeah, it was, the mid-50s while we were there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Just crazy.
It was chilly. But then it was also kind of nice at times, too, because if I could keep her warm, then I was, pushing the stroller, and I'm, kind of an aggressive stroller pusher because, we got places to be. So I would get hot, and so I was fine as long as I could keep her warm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so how was breakfast?
Oh, it was my favorite part of the trip.
Aww.
Absolutely my favorite part of the trip. So glad that we saw those princesses on the first day and decided to do that. Not only did it take off the pressure from having to oh no, we're missing out on these princess lines and things like that for the party, but it was just, it was so sweet and so magical. It was so good. I loved it.
How was the food?
The food was great. The food was actually
awesome.
Really good. So everything was done with flair, of course. So you get your first round of appetizers, and there's 5 things on the plate, and each one is themed. This is Sebastian's crab cake, and this is Tiana's thing, and this is Mulan's firecracker pudding. Everything is all, and so the waiter comes and tells you about what each thing is, so you kind of get this introduction. The tables were really pretty. The napkins were folded into roses and teacups on your table.
Oh,
they brought when you're having tea, the towers with the plates,
Mm-hmm.
they brought out the food for you, so it felt very very official and prim and proper, and but laid back. But it felt like it was trying to be fancy, so I liked that. So all those appetizers were really good, and then from there it was a small buffet, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. And I liked all of that food too. I thought it was really good.
So where is this restaurant located?
That's in the Grand Californian as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so you kind of, when you go in there, you kind of have to, it's the way back, and you have to go through the entire hotel to get over there. It's definitely a trek over there, but it's around, the restaurants are around where the swimming pool is, so exactly where the swimming pool is.
Makes sense. So what princesses did y'all get to meet?
So when you first come in, you're not rushed throughout the whole experience. Everything is very chill and laid back, and it's not busy, not full of people. It's not the quick turnover that you're used to at Disney restaurants where they're trying to get people in and out the door. So you come in and there's you wait, and then you can meet your first princess. So Aurora was our first princess to meet, which happened to be the shirt my daughter was wearing, so she's so excited. Yeah. And we had forgotten her autograph book when we went to Storytellers. So she had her autograph book, and she had picked a flower outside, and she gave it to Aurora. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute.
That's so sweet.
So cute. Yeah. And each princess really took their time. It wasn't stand here, take a picture, go on. It was, let's talk, let's have a conversation. Each one of them kind of got down on the floor so they were eye level with her and gave her hugs and took pictures with both of us, of course. I wasn't going to miss out on taking pictures with these princesses.
Yep.
But really wanted to get to know her. What's your favorite animal? And what do you like about this? And they, in their theming, asked a lot of questions along those lines. So we saw Aurora, and then you're taken back after the first princess. You're taken back to your table, and then that's where you sit down. And then from there, you kind of can get up and go to like a room where the princesses are,
Mm-hmm.
and alternate who's in that room, so that by the time you leave, you'll have seen it was 7 princesses.
That's a lot.
A lot of princesses.
Man, that's impressive.
It was, yes, but it was like an hour and a half breakfast. Like we were in there a long time, so you sit down, and then they bring out the appetizers, and while you're eating that, then he'll come over, or the waiter come over and be like, right now we have so-and-so in the room, would you like to go and see them? And you just like get up, and he was like, you don't have to ask permission to get up and go see him, just get up and go see him whenever you like. But they did a really good job of tracking what princesses you had and hadn't seen.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd be like, so-and-so's in this room, would you like to go over there now? I know you haven't seen her yet. So I was like, they're just not going to let you miss anything. There was really someone who walked around and would tell people, here's where this princess is, and you haven't seen them, so go see them. Like, to make sure that everybody saw the princesses.
That's fantastic, because when you go to a meal like that, you really want to get everything out of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And so then the next one we got to see was Mulan. And my daughter, I feel like I felt her as a mother a little bit. It wasn't until this trip when I realized how many Disney movies she has not watched yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just because she's so young, so she gets fixated like on Frozen and Tangled, and like that's all we'll watch.
Yeah.
And so she hasn't seen a lot of these other ones, so she didn't know who Mulan was. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to teach you this. But she still went up and talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
But then she met Rapunzel, and she loves Rapunzel so much, so she was really glad to meet her. And then they like talked and took pictures, and then we walked out of the room. She looked up at me and she goes, Mama, this is so much fun.
Oh, that like melts my heart.
That was like a moment I will never forget.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I would pay all the money to come here and do this all the time. Like I would cherish it forever.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Fun.
I love it. You're never gonna forget that. We took my daughter when she was 3, and those are like some of my favorite Disney memories. Just like her face.
Because everything's just so special.
Yeah. It's so real to them.
I love the young age. I really think that people like miss out on the opportunity to take them when they're little, because they're like, let's wait till they're older. But it's like so thrilling as a parent to watch them light up with this magic.
Absolutely. Like, I think parents should treat themselves by taking their little kids, because it doesn't matter if they don't remember it, because you'll never forget it.
Exactly. And those pictures, it's like, and I tell people this analogy, like when you're thinking about, should I take my kids to Disney or not? It's like, it's kind of like labor. So, it's a little bit scary at times. There's going to be some breakdowns occasionally. There's going to be some stressful parts, but it's all really happy, and you forget the pain after a while.
Yeah.
And you just look back at the pictures and you say, oh, wow, that was so great.
That's so true. I love that analogy. Yes.
Yeah. So I definitely think people should take their little ones to Disney. Even if they won't remember it, I still think it's pretty great.
Absolutely. And they're cheaper when they're little, because they don't eat as much. They don't want as much.
And if you go before they're 3, then you can get them in for free. Yeah. And if you go before they're 2, they can fly for free. So when we took her 18 months, she was completely free.
Yeah, that's so nice.
This is great. Yeah, so nice.
For sure. Okay,
but then we went back and ate our breakfast. We did the buffet, and then we come get another round. So then we met Pocahontas, and then Ariel. And Ariel was awesome because she danced with Rose. Like she said, would you like to do a dance with me? And like they held hands and spun her around. And then she's like, well, now that I got our practice, let's do it again. And so they had they did it like twice. They really took their time with these kids. And I just thought that was so awesome.
That's so sweet. For sure.
Yeah. And then we had dessert, and then we met Jasmine and Tiana to round out the day.
That is so many princesses. Like, that's really impressive, because I don't think you meet that many at the castle at Disney.
No, I think it's only like a few that you get the option.
4, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so that was really cool.
That's wonderful. So what'd y'all do after that meal?
So we hit the park around noon. We went to Disneyland Park again. And I also did like that we started out our trip. I like to start our trip out at Disneyland Park versus Disneyland California, just like going to the Magic Kingdom on the first day. You know, it's like you got to kind of go see the castle first. So we wanted to go back and like finish up the stuff that we hadn't been able to do. So it was raining it was still raining. And so luckily I came really prepared with like a stroller cover, and I had an umbrella, and she had a stroller umbrella, and we had ponchos, and we had all of the rain things. And I had shoes on that were like semi-waterproof. So I was like, we are going to do that.
Yeah. Power
we can't
through.
leave the hotel. We have got 2 days. We're going to go do it. And actually, looking back on it, I'm so glad it rained. It made some of the parks not as fun, but we never waited more than 15 minutes for anything.
Yeah.
And we even rode sometimes multiple times without having to get off, which was amazing. I was like, Rose is going to have very odd expectations for the next time she comes, and she has to wait in line to just like say, can I ride again?
Yes.
And going again.
That is the good part about rainy days. I always tell people, don't leave the park on a rainy day because that's when everyone leaves. You'll love it.
No, I know. And I took like screenshots of all the wait times on the map, and I was just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Like,
it's crazy.
Amazing. This is so amazing. And I had already bought GD Plus, but we would not have needed it at all. There was even times where it was like they weren't getting bought. So literally the time for the genie was now. And it would just move down and down and down throughout the day.
Wow.
So there wasn't very many that were actually being used in advance. There was maybe the Star Wars, like their Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run was, and Mickey's Runaway Railroad. But other than that, you didn't need it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we rode Astro Orbiters first, which was really fun, and it goes really fast. I hadn't ridden that one before. I thought it would be like Dumbo, but you go pretty fast.
Oh yeah, that scared me the first time I got off it. I was like, I don't feel like we're secure enough, first of all.
No,
yes.
Definitely not. Like, you're not strapped in, but you're going pretty fast. But it was really fun. I liked that one. Then we did Buzz Lightyear, and I used the lightning lane just because I was like, well, if there's a 10-minute wait, I could maybe not wait at all. Yeah. And use that, and my daughter loved it. She was so cute, but she got 0 points. She couldn't figure it out. But she asked me to do it again. I said, let's just walk back through. So we walked back through and did it again, and she got a few hundred points the second time, which that was an improvement. She was proud of it.
There you go. That's awesome.
And then we did Autopia, which that was so funny because she really didn't want to drive. She's like, I've never had driving lessons. I'm like, you don't need driving lessons. It's like on a track, like you're going to be okay. But at these points too, it's like it's raining on you while you're like getting. So it wasn't like a downpour, but it was like just a steady mist, like a steady sprinkle on you. So I have like my hood over. I'm trying to like keep my hair and my ears wet, and she's like driving, and she's just like crashing. Like, she's like, and just had no idea how to drive it, and so we crashed all the time. And we both thought it was so funny. She couldn't drive.
That's really cute.
Yeah, and getting wet the whole time. So you kind of like let go of some of the expectations too. Like, you're not going to be as cute that day. Your little family outfit probably aren't going to get as many pictures because you're just trying to stay dry and enjoy yourself, which is kind of nice because it takes a little bit of that pressure off of like expectations. Your expectations change.
That's really true. That's really good advice. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went and did Small World, and she really liked that one. And I like Small World there at Disneyland. I probably won't ever ride it again at Magic Kingdom if I can avoid it. But I like to run at Disneyland. It's prettier.
I agree.
And then we did Mickey's Runaway Railroad, which we did by the individual lightning lane for that one. It was like a 30-minute wait, and I was like, hey, 30 minutes, we can be in and out of there and on to other things.
Yep.
So, and it was kind of neat because Toontown isn't open yet. Actually, now it is open. I believe it opened on the 19th. But you could still see so much as you walk through this ride. So you could see all of like the banks and things that they had done. They did have some of it like partitioned off. You couldn't see behind walls, but you kind of got to have a feel for what it was gonna look like.
Yeah, it looks so fun.
fun.
Oh, I love that ride.
Yeah, I totally love it. It's so like smooth and neat and fun, and it's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
Yeah, like there's no bit of plain. There's nothing. Everything is detailed in beautiful colors, and it's just very rich.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah. So we did that, and then, so I got a lightning lane for Smuggler's Run. I was going to try to get us over. We had reservations for Oga's just because it's fun. Like, I think, I would tell people definitely take your kids to Oga's, even though it's like a bar, but it's very kid-friendly. But they have really fun drinks for the kids, too. And they just go out where the frog eggs are coming out of and things like that. Like, both my kids really think it's fun to go to Oga's. So I wanted to go there. And I'm pushing her, and it's like 2:45 in the afternoon, and like we finally get across the park. I always get kind of lost in the Star Wars land over there because it kind of goes in like a circular kind of shape, but you can't go on a stroller on certain parts. There are only stairs, so it confuses me. So I walk all the way one side and I come all the way back, and I'm like, here we are. We're here for Smuggler's Run. That's the only one she was tall enough for.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be like 40 inches for everything. She was 39.
Oh my gosh.
I know how frustrating. And I'm like looking down in the stroller, and she's just asleep. I was like, oh, I'm pushing you around this whole time, and you're sleeping. So I guess we're not about to do this, right? I guess it's nap time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I had
pictures of her like laying in, her stroller, sleeping in the rain at Disney.
That's really sweet. I mean, she was probably just like, lulled to sleep with the ride and the rain.
Exactly. Yes. But that's where I learned that the balloons do not hold up in the rain, because we were like basically, it was like bobbing behind us on the ground. I would have to pick it up and like kind of smack the water off it, and then it would float for a while, and it would slowly get too heavy and go right behind us. So I was like, no, don't bring that balloon in the rain.
That's good advice.
I would have never thought that I have to worry about a balloon floating in the rain, but that's
right.
Okay.
I know. I would have never even thought about that, but now I know. It doesn't work.
Now you know. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I was like, okay, well, I wonder if I should, like, what should I do? And it's kind of more so, like, raining at this point. Like, the point where I got my poncho out, like, I was fully, like, rain geared at this point. She's sleeping. I was like, you know what? Like, I would really just, like, sit down somewhere. I tried to get us into Blue Bayou, like, walk up list, couldn't do it. Didn't want to take her to Oga's because she's sleeping, and that's not going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, we're just going to hook it back to the hotel. And instead of riding the monorail, because I didn't want to have to close up the stroller, I was like, so I just walked all the way back to the hotel. And I love at Disneyland Hotel, I don't know how to say it. It's called, like, Tangaroa Terrace, I think. That's like Tangaro.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that restaurant. And it's like little sit outside, you just eat on the terrace. And it was covered, and they had heaters. And so I got us on like the walk up list for that. And I just sat there and like had a margarita by myself while she slept and watched the rain.
That sounds really nice.
It was a quiet moment at Disney, but kind of by myself because she was sleeping.
That's so nice. So how long was the walk from the park to the hotel? Like about
maybe like 10-ish minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. But like I said, I'm like kind of I walk places with purpose. I'm not the stroll along kind of people. And definitely in the rain. I was like, I don't want to be in this rain any longer than I have to. And if she's going to take a nap, I want to go sit down. So I kind of stood there. Yeah.
Well, that sounds so nice. So what'd you do after that?
Then she woke up, and I kind of was like, I don't know what her vibe's going to be after she wakes up. Like, it's about 4:30 at this point, and so she ate, and I was like, well, what are we going to do? She wanted to go in the hot tub. That's what she wanted to do. I was like, well, I'm down. It's cold, but I will go get in the hot tub with you just because it's fun and we're on vacation. But then I looked at the wait times again, and I was like, girl, we can't just not go and finish these rides. Like, we got to go. And she was like, okay. I was like, are you going to be able to do it? She's like, yes, I'm ready to do it. So we hooked it back to the park again, and we rode. So for those of you who may not know, whenever it shows 13-minute wait on Haunted Mansion, that's just like a walk-on. And so we went and did that. And I was worried that she would be too scared, but, I was like, it's not real. These are just pretend. And I kept reminding her, she was, Mama, I know they're not real. It's like, oh, I don't need to be worried about you like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my son wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do Astro Orbiter. He wouldn't do Haunted Mansion. Like, he was like, not interested in those things.
I have to say, it's something about those second and third born kids. Like, they just will do stuff. It's the firstborn is always so cautious.
Right.
That's the way it is in my
and
family.
She loved that she was doing things. I was like, your Bubba wouldn't do this, and she'd be like really proud and like smile, like I could do it. You know, he's too scared to, but I do it.
I love it.
And it started to, it didn't rain. It stopped raining for a while there in the evening. So that was really nice. But at that point, like, people aren't going to want to come to the park. It's already 5, 6-ish in the evening. So people are, like, done for their day. If they chose not to come, they're probably not going to come at that point. So the wait time stayed really nice. The only bummer for the day was that they canceled Fantasmic because of the rain. Yeah, and so they called me and left a voicemail, like, because I had the River Bell Fantasmic Premium Dining, which is very, very hard to get, like, very hard to get. They go like that because there's, like, 30 tables or something like that. That's it.
Yeah.
So I was, like, thrilled that I had gotten this reservation, so looking forward to it because you're able to eat at River Bell and have your meal a little early, and then you sit there at your table to watch Fantasmic. So you don't have to get up and go anywhere. Like, you sit at your table to watch the show. Doesn't get any more convenient for that.
Right.
A little bit bummed that one got canceled. Just because I'm so lucky.
I know. That is so frustrating.
I know. But, we ran into other things, so it was fun. And then she wanted a bubble wand. She had her eye on a bubble wand. We got bubble wand. We got cotton candy. We got all of the things, you know, kept buying all of the things.
Yeah.
Then we finally got back to Smuggler's Run. And she was just barely taller. You'd see 38 inches for Smuggler's Run. And we rode with, like, a little family, and they're like, oh, have y'all been here before? Do y'all want to be the pilots? I'm like, no, like, don't. She can't drive. Like, no, we've already established this. So me and her could be engineers. We're fine. But it's not like a thrill ride, so I didn't know why there would be, like, a height requirement. But it's basically because the little ones can't touch the buttons.
Oh,
like,
I didn't even think about that.
Time being able to, like, reach the buttons as they would light up. She could only do about the bottom half of them because she wasn't big enough.
I wouldn't have even thought about that.
No, that's that she was really stretched and trying to reach them. So that makes sense because it's not going to be fun for them if they can't do the ride.
Right. Like, I always wondered why there was a height requirement on that ride. Yep. Now I know.
That's what my assumption is because they're just physically too little.
Yeah, that's probably totally it.
Yep. So, but she really liked it. She thought it was fun.
That is a fun ride, especially for kids. My kids love that ride.
Yeah. Yeah, and because she had never been on something that's like that 3D, everything's moving, you're totally immersed like that. Like, that was her first time to be in a ride like that, so it was really fun.
That is fun.
Yeah, and then we went back and did the carousel, and we did Nemo, which I like that ride. I feel like I'm going to get sick every time I ride that ride. Like, I'm going to catch someone's cold.
Yes.
You know? Because you're in a submarine, right? So there's, like, 2 hatches at the top that are distributing the air, but you just kind of feel you're really close to people and you just know, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting COVID as we speak.
Yes, seriously. We did that, and my husband's 6'2", and he was like, I'm never doing this. He was, like, too big.
Right. It is very small and cramped. Like, you're tight in there with people next to you.
Oh, yeah. It was funny. We were laughing at him.
Yeah. You're like, sorry, dude.
We're like, yeah, well, at least you tried it. At least you tried it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to get in and out of, too. You have to go down these really steep, twisty stairs. I was, like, kind of tearing curves and want her to slip. It's been raining all day.
Yeah.
So it's a very cute ride. And she's at the perfect age to appreciate that.
I bet she loved it.
She did really like it. And our plan was to go, so we kind of went back in that direction because we're going to ride the monorail home. Like, she wanted to ride monorail, and that's one of the things about staying at Disneyland Hotel. Like, it's so easy to get on the monorail. But it was already closed for the day for the projections. And I don't know if they did the fireworks. I'm assuming that they didn't.
Yeah,
but they closed the monorail early for that.
That's so frustrating.
So we did another hike to the hotel. I got all the miles. All the miles that day.
Got your steps in.
I totally got my steps in. Yeah, but so we were back to the hotel, probably in like bed by 9 that night. So we had that was a really full day, and that's where I discovered what I love about her. She's really like a yes man. Like, you want to try it? Yes, let's try it. Oh, and we rode Pirates of the Caribbean 2 times without getting, we were in the front row the first time. And then we got out, and it was kind of, I was like, can we just get back in? They're like, yeah, go ahead. So that was really nice.
That's
to do it multiple times like that. Yeah, I know, because usually Pirates is a longer wait.
Yes, that's one of the popular rides at Disneyland.
It was all walk on. We just walked right on and stayed on. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to do it again. So, and that one is so much better than the one at Disney World. I hadn't ridden that one before because last time the wait was way too long for me to invest in riding it. And it's so much more fun.
Yeah, because it's the original.
And it has like drops. Like, the other one is just you kind of float around, but this has 2 drops. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And I've eaten at Blue Bayou on our last trip. And have you eaten at Blue Bayou?
No.
Okay, so the inside of it is themed like a New Orleans garden party, like a backyard garden party. Mm-hmm. So you're like, it's all dark, the ceiling's black, there's like stars that are twinkling, there's trees, there's water behind the eating area. Like inside like a faux building, so it really feels like you walked onto someone's like garden party. Mm-hmm. It's really cool theming, very cool theming, very immersive. But I didn't realize the whole time that we were eating there the last time that it's the Pirates ride that goes along the back of that. Yeah. So you're riding on the Pirates ride and you're looking at the people eating at Blue Bayou. I was like, I never knew that there's people back there just floating by that entire time we were eating.
That's funny. Oh, yeah. I did know the ride went through there because I remember when we rode it, I was like, oh, there's a restaurant.
Yes, definitely. But I was like, oh, I had no idea that was all part of the same thing.
Yes, that's one of the reasons that restaurant is so popular is because people want to be able to watch the people on Pirates.
I see. Well, I never even saw them.
Yep.
But now I probably wasn't looking close enough.
Yeah. And if you don't know, then it's so easy to miss stuff.
Be back there.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that sounds like
that
such
was our first day. We did like so much, all the things.
That's so awesome. And I think this is a great episode for people to listen to because your daughter is 3 and she did so many rides. Like this is another reason to take your young kids. They really can do a lot of the rides.
Mm-hmm. Especially at Disneyland Park because that one has all of the things, The only ride we didn't get to do that she wanted to do was Alice in Wonderland. It was the line was too long at Princesses to wait in for it, and then it was closed because of the rain the next day. So it never opened that entire day. Mm-hmm. Summer, but that's the reason to come back.
Yeah, and there's even other rides in that park that y'all could have done as well. So, yeah.
There were definitely more things that we could have gone around. Yeah. Oh, we did Winnie the Pooh as well. Yeah, like we tried to do as much as we could.
Absolutely. You got to take advantage of it while you're there.
Oh, absolutely. We were both so tired, though, at the end of the day. We were both like, are you done? We were like, yeah, we're both done at this point.
That's so great. How much fun. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your next day.
So the next day, I was still debating, are we going to get up for early entry or not? And I decided not to, which I was kind of like a little disappointed in myself. But looking back on it, I'm like, there's no way we could have gotten up and done all of that and then tried to save World of Color. Like, it just wouldn't have worked. So the rain actually saved us there because we didn't need to get up and do early entry because the crowds were so light. So it really kind of worked out. So we went over to Disney California Adventure and got there about 9:30. And it was also the Food and Wine Festival while we're there. So there's all these extra like carts and kiosks and things, but those don't open until like brunchy time. Like they're not open right when you get to the park, but it smelled so good walking through everywhere. It was like garlic and this everywhere.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the lines are really long for stuff, but they move so fast, like amazingly fast. Like you went through and you never stopped walking in the line, and so it was really they were moving people in and out of there really quick.
That's so nice because sometimes those lines at Epcot at Disney World are just ridiculous.
No, yeah, it's like the whole thing is you want to try as much as you can, but you don't want to spend the day waiting in lines again. Yes. So I was very pleased about how well they did that.
That's great.
Yeah. So we did Little Mermaid first, and we did that twice without getting off. She's like not going to know what to think next time she comes. And I'm like, no, we can't ride again. We have to get off.
So you're like,
what? When we went back around for, to get off the second time, the guy was like, oh, y'all getting off? You're not riding again. Like, we could have ridden the third and fourth time had we wanted to. There was nobody.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really neat experience, especially because we were dressed like our outfits were themed for mermaid that day. Like we both had Little Mermaid ears and mermaid print things. So that was like our ride of the day. And I love Little Mermaid. That's my favorite princess.
That's so cute. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And then we did the Golden Zephyr, which that one surprised me a little bit about like that there's no doors so that you could just fall out into the water.
Yes.
But it's fun. But it was raining on us. So it's slowly like misting rain at that point. And so, as you're swinging around like that water is just like coming.
Oh my gosh.
But, it was all fun. And we did that twice, of course. We were the only people on one of the little, I don't know, cars or planes or whatever they were the second time.
Oh my gosh. Y'all had quite the adventure. I love it.
We really did. And none of that, I was so bummed thinking about the rain, but now I'm like, next time I go, I hope it rains.
Yeah. Seriously, you got to just take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I'm so glad that we still got up and went and did all those things.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And then we did emotional whirlwinds, and then we did the Ferris wheel, which I hadn't done that one before because my son was like, that's too tall. He wasn't down for that, but my daughter was. And she didn't want to do the swinging ones. And I was not prepared for how,
oh my gosh,
they swing you.
They're so scary.
They are. You're not buckled in or anything. I was holding my daughter back to the seat to make sure she didn't slide off.
She is very brave.
Like a gentle rocking. I wasn't expecting going down a track and swinging one way and then back up the track and swinging the other way.
Yes. She's very brave. I'm shocked.
She was fine. She was totally fine.
I don't even know if my teenagers would do that.
No, I was like, I don't think I want to do this again. This is kind of scary.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yeah. So it was fun. It's a fun experience. And, it's not closed in. It's just kind of screened. So you're getting wet on there too. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I'm like, we are going to get wet today. I just know because not only is the rain coming down on you, but when you're getting off of seats and stuff, there's water. So your butt's getting wet as you're sitting down and just kind of prepare for your whole body to be wet that day.
Yeah. Just accept it and move on.
Just accept it and move on. That's right. Yes. No hair down. It is a hair up kind of day.
Yep.
Because it's going to look terrible. You just kind of have all of those expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we did that, and then Jesse's Carousel, and then we did use Genie to do Toy Story Mania. It did have a 30-minute wait. Those Toy Story rides are just really popular, Mm-hmm. But that was so fun. That one was really good, and my daughter did well at that one. It was
Yay!
A really fun time. I would have liked to do it again.
That one's easier for kids, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, you don't have to have a good aim. You're going to get points no matter where you're shooting, as long as you can pull the little handle.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a fun one. And then we went over to Cars Land, and at that point the sun came out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Rose, look, the sun!" So we got to take a couple of pictures, and it was nice, and it was really pretty because everything was wet, and the colors are so rich and reflective off of the streets in Cars Land. So we went to Cozy Cone and got popcorn, always the popcorn. And then she spilled all of her popcorn. So then we went to Flo's V8 Cafe. I mobile ordered for that and ate over there. I hadn't eaten at Flo's before. I had just done Cozy Cone churros and stuff. It wasn't. But it was neat to sit outside at Flo's and say you're eating there. But she got the macaroni and cheese. It was just macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. That's good to know.
But glad we did it.
Yeah, it has a beautiful scenery. Food might not be great, but the scenery is beautiful.
And then you can say you've eaten at Flo's V8 Cafe. Every time you watch a movie, I've eaten there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we liked that. Then we did Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, which was pretty fun. That one actually goes a little bit faster. I remember. I really enjoyed that ride. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we could have just gotten out and walked back through the line again if we had wanted to, but we were a little bit rided out, getting a little tired at that point in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Luigi's is closed because of the rain, so that's kind of good to know that there are some rides that just won't open in the rain, and Luigi's never open that whole day. Then we did Mickey's Philhar Magic, which that was kind of fun for my daughter too, because she didn't remember doing something like that with 3D, and when Ariel would like throw out her jewels, she would like reach up and try to grab the 3D jewels. I'm like,
that's really sweet.
Love it.
Yeah.
So sweet. And there was like maybe 20 other people in the auditorium, so we got to like sit right in the middle, exactly where we wanted. It didn't matter, but you could go all the way to the end. So I was like, this is great.
That's
and we
awesome.
were wet while we were in there, so that was kind of a nice time too.
Yep. Nice dry show.
Nice, dry and warm. And then we decided to go and meet Anna. So they have Anna and Elsa's like meeting inside the animation studio. And I hadn't been in there last time. I didn't go inside there. It's really cool in there. All the different screens and how they're like, the different animations all layered on these different screens, and you get to hear the music. So it's kind of entertaining. That is the thing we waited in the longest line for, 45 minutes.
It's always the characters.
Always the characters. And I guess they can't have multiple distinct characters to hurry it along, but, you know, like, come on now, everything's been so good, and then we had to wait in this line. But we got to meet Elsa and Olaf, which was nice because on the first day we watched Anna walk by, so we rounded out all of the princesses.
There you go. And we got to meet Olaf, and I loved meeting Olaf. That's fun.
Yeah, he was really sweet. Like, wanted to do the hug and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of the cast members working there was one of those cast members that I talked to at Princess Night. She's like, "Were you a princess?" And I was like, "I was. I recognize you too." She's like, "Oh, I hope you had fun."
That's so funny. I love it.
Yeah, and they had stayed till the end. They stayed till like do the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yes. So then we left about 3:30, and I got on the walk-up list for Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar. Wanted to go back to the hotel and have a nap and have some food first. And that place is so fun. And I know now why the reservations go so quickly. But it was just a slow day, I guess. So we only had to wait 10 minutes to get in there. And it was really cute. Have you ever been inside that one?
No.
No, I think next time you go to Disney, you just got to go hop over there just because it's super well themed. It's very small, but it's super well themed. And all of the drinks are like special, and they have non-alcoholic, like special little mocktails for kids that they feel like they're having a tiki drink too. And there's certain drinks when they would order them, like the bartenders would like flash the lights. It'd be like a thunderstorm comes over the thing, and they would like spray water, like the lava's raining down on you, and like spray water out on the crowd. There were certain things that had fire. Like there was just fun little touches to sit there and watch while you're eating.
Yes, that sounds so fun. I actually have a client who wants me to get her a reservation there, so I'll let her know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely let her know. And then also that's the great thing about Disneyland is you can do walk-up reservations. It's like not so much a thing at Disney World, but you can get on that walk-up thing. And I've actually gotten in a good amount of times just walking up.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I think that's something good to keep in mind, too, for people is that's always an option if you can't get that reservation ahead of time.
Yes, absolutely. And keep checking that day up because people are dropping reservations left and right. They have to cancel 2 hours before. So you kind of start looking, and there will be some that pop up often right before that 2 hour mark of when you're wanting to go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So we did that. That was fun. And then it was nap time. We were both tired. I never nap. And I nap. Like, I'm just not a napper. But I was like, oh, I have to get in this bed right now. I'm so tired.
You had the Disney tired's.
I did.
It's a thing. It's real.
Very strange. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we hadn't bought tickets to the World of Color dessert party, we probably would have called it an evening. We were both so tired.
Mm-hmm.
But we had the tickets, which I was glad. I was like, Rosie, are you ready to go? She's like, yep. So she was ready to go again. We actually got there a little late to the dessert party because we were really trying to sleep every minute that we could. So it started at 8, and we got there by 8:20. And the check-in process for that one is a little bit confusing. So if anybody listening ever goes to the World of Color dessert party, you go where Little Mermaid's ride is, and you keep walking back until to the Redwood Trail. And there's big yellow building with a water wheel. You check in there. It's way away from the dessert party that you're not expecting to go down there and find this thing. Mm-hmm. And they take you in groupings. You gotta wait, and they're like, okay, we're coming back and taking another group over there now. But it really didn't matter that we were late. Not at all.
That's good.
Yeah, we still got to our table probably about like 8:30, and the show starts at 9. So it was plenty of time to like eat the grapes and cheese and chocolate cheesecake that came with it.
So for that dessert party, you're assigned a table. So even if you get there early, it's not like a first come, first serve. That's good
you're
to
just
know.
assigned a table. Yeah, there's really no reason to come early. You're going to get what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
This time we sat with other people. When I did the Oogie Boogie one, we had like our own table, but we sat with another couple, which they were locals, and so it was nice talking to them because they get to come so often. It's neat to kind of ask what that experience is like of just, we come down once a month, we drive an hour, and here's where I would stay at this hotel if you don't want to pay for on property, and it was kind of like good tips there.
Yeah, that's really nice. I always love talking to locals anywhere we go on vacation.
Yes, definitely, for sure. I was like, oh my gosh, can you just imagine, like, and then my husband would be down to come once a month to Disneyland, your pass holders, you just go, like, wow.
I can't imagine. I can't. It would be so great.
Maybe Texas, maybe the Dallas-Fort Worth stuff will, like, turn into something with Universal coming there. I'm really hopeful.
I'm hopeful, too, especially because Disney owns a bunch of land by us.
I know. That's like, and now that Universal's officially doing something, I'm like, maybe Disney's going to they always have to, like, step up with each other.
Yeah, they're, like, huge competitors.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Oh, it'd be so great.
Yeah. So we did the World of Color dessert party, and the World of Color is the show now is called One, and it was so good. So good. And I had like a lot of Star Wars and Avengers in it, so it's not even just like where you're expecting to have princess singing songs and like, but this one, I don't know, it had all of the feels. Loved it so much.
That's great. So do you recommend the dessert party for World of Color?
Well, so to watch World of Color, you have to get into a queue during the day. There's only like reserve seating. Mm-hmm. So I would do it just because I like to maximize the time that I'm getting to use in the park versus getting somewhere early and like waiting it out and hoping that, even though you're in the queue to get a spot, you get to go if you have that, but you want to get there before the other people and get the better seats and all of that. So I think if you have it in the budget, I always think
and y'all had good seats?
Yeah, they weren't bad at all. Yeah, we were kind of up on the second tier. So they have like high top tables and low top tables on the tier. So there's people behind you there above you a little bit. So I don't know that you could have a bad view.
That's good. Yeah, because when we went, we just kind of like stood off on the side to watch World of Color. We were just kind of like trying to because you really have to be face on to see it.
Right, because the way the lights are going to shine onto that water, absolutely.
So we kind of missed out a little bit on it. We ended up just leaving halfway through it. But yes, if I go back, I want to do the dessert party just so you don't have that stress.
Mm-hmm. It's all and you get to sit down. It's so nice when you've been on your feet all day to just sit down and drink hot cocoa and whatever.
Yeah. Does that dessert party have alcohol for adults?
You get 2 alcoholic beverages with that. And then it's unlimited, like water and soft drinks and hot chocolate beyond that.
Awesome. Did your daughter like World of Color?
She did. She really liked. She's like, wow! Like she thought it was so cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And the nice is the dessert come out in like little to-go containers, like it's already pre-packaged. So you just bring it for your table. So if you don't eat it all, you can just like take it back to the hotel with you and eat it again the next day.
That's so nice. So is it not unlimited desserts? You kind of just get like a plate?
Yeah, you get a plate. Okay. But it had plenty of it. Like it had several different kinds of cheeses on there and like grapes and some crackers and like maybe 3 different desserts. Like it was a decent size, like a dinner plate size thing that was full of food.
And y'all each got one of those?
We each got one of those, yes.
So yeah, that is a lot.
You'd have a lot of food.
Yeah.
If there's like a family of 5, y'all are going to have a lot of cheese to take home after that.
Oh my gosh. Or if you have like a little kid who's not going to eat it all.
Yeah, exactly. For her, it was like, definitely no. We had plenty to take back to the room.
So what'd y'all do after the dessert party?
So earlier in the day, we had gotten not an individual experience pass. from one of the rides that we're trying to do got broke down earlier in the day, which I had always been kind of keeping an eye on that. We really didn't need to use Genie, but I was like, if I can rack up a few of those multi-experience passes just because I'm going to.
Yeah.
I think I had 3 to burn at the end of the day, which we really didn't need because the day is over.
Yeah.
So World of Color ends at like 9:30 and the park closed at 10. So we were like, what do we want to do? And we went and did web slingers. So we did the lightning lane for that, which actually had a little bit of a wait. I think lots of people were like waiting, World of Color gets out, go run and do your last ride thing. But we were the last 2 people through the lightning lane line. So I look back and took a picture of the empty queue behind us. I'm like, look at you, Rose. It's like 10:10 at this point, which is after midnight. And she's just like happy. And we love that ride. It's so fun.
That's so cool. She is such a trooper.
She is my new favorite travel partner, for sure. Because she's like, yeah, you want to do it? Yes, let's go do it.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. No tantrums, nothing. It was probably my favorite Disney trip ever.
Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, I mean, if anyone out there, if you get the opportunity to take your kids one-on-one to Disney, it is such a great experience.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And just being able to kind of tailor it to what they're interested in. You don't have to do the princesses if they're not interested in the princesses. You don't have to do the Avengers stuff if they're not into that. And you can kind of see you get to see what their little style of travel is.
Yeah, for sure. So after Web Slingers, y'all just went back to your hotel?
Yeah, we took pictures around the empty park because it was shutting down, and they really were herding you out of there. When we came out of Web Slingers, our stroller was in one of the areas they blocked off, and I had to be like, it's that one, I promise, that one right there, I need to go get it.
Yeah.
They would actually let you back through. They were really trying to get you out. But we got back to the hotel about 11 that night.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so
then our flight the next day didn't leave until 2 in the afternoon. So we had until we were getting picked up at 11:30. So I was like, Rose, what do you want to do? Your last morning. She's like, I want to go swimming. So I was like, okay, we're gonna get up and we're gonna go swimming again, even though it's cold. She called it. She wanted to be in the warm tub, not the hot tub, the warm tub. And we get up and we get down there at 9, and the pool is open until 10. I'm like, oh, we have to be out of the room, showered by 11. I'm like, girl, I don't know what we're going to do. So we went and found breakfast, and we came back, and she got in a solid 45 minutes of swimming, met another little friend, played with her, jumped in the pool again and again with her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I got in the hot tub for a little bit, but mostly I was like, I'm kind of cold.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
For sure.
She was literally shitless. Her jaw was shivering. She was so
and
cold.
were her lips turning blue?
Yes, they were. They definitely were. But she's also the hot tub was too hot for her, so she could only put her legs in and then jump back into the pool. So she really needs to warm up.
Oh my gosh, kids are so funny.
I know, they're down for anything.
Yes.
But yeah, we hightailed up to the room at 10:45, took the fastest showers ever just to get the pool water off, and called it a day.
Did you have the same driver or car service take you back to the airport?
Yes, it was a different driver, but it was the same car service.
Mm-hmm. And how was that?
Emilio's car service, I think, is what we used. Yeah, I have to double check that one. But it was good. And it's so close. Those are so easy to get to. We're a 15-minute drive.
That's really nice. How was the airport? Traffic-wise, were there a lot of people there?
No, not really. No, we got there with plenty of time to save. We had TSA pre-check, so it's very fast anyway to get through security. And so we had I don't know, we were there an hour and a half with once we're through security, we had a ton of time. So we had lunch and we had a little cute outside. So that was the nice thing, was because the airport's kind of inside outside. You could eat outside. It's very rare to be outside at an airport.
Yeah.
I don't get to do that often.
It feels very California, doesn't it? Yeah.
Very much so. Yes, it had a fire pit in the middle, so you're kind of cool. It was a nice little ending to the trip.
That's awesome. Well, y'all's trip sounds amazing. I will ask you what I ask everyone. What was your least magical moment of the trip?
My least magical moment of the trip was probably Fantasmic getting canceled just because I was looking forward to that so much. But, it really worked out. And if I was going to say that was my least magical, it's like a very minor least magical.
Yes, I agree. What was your most magical?
Definitely the princess breakfast. I will go back and do that like every time. As long as she's into princesses, we are going to go back and do that one again. I'm so glad I did it. It is expensive, but so worth it.
I mean, y'all saw so many princesses. I would say it's totally worth it. And you said the food was good, so it sounds like a win-win.
Good. Yes, definitely.
So do you have anything else you want to say about your trip, Bailey?
I think that's it. I can't wait to go back. And I think I might be starting to fall more in love with Disneyland and Disney World. I don't know. They're getting closer and closer. I really like Disneyland for the littles. It's just so much more easier to navigate around.
Yes, that's what I always tell people. Start with Disneyland if you have little kids because it's so easy.
It's so easy. And you can go, you don't need a whole week there. You can go and do everything you need to do in 3 days. Like, some people do take a week and you can find enough stuff to do for sure. But if you just want to go and have a weekend getaway, it's perfect.
Thank you for listening today. I really appreciate you spending your time over here with us, and I hope this was just what you needed to hear today. I'm always looking for new guests for the podcast, so if you are traveling to any Disney park or cruise, see the show notes for more information about being on the show. Visit the show all around the web at DisneyTravelTales.com or find us on Instagram and Facebook at Disney Travel Tales. See pictures from the guests on their vacations. Plus, this is just a great way to stay up to date with all things related to the podcast and Disney travel in general. Join me next week with a brand new episode. So until then, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.